Good. Perfect. That's a perfect start. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar today. We're going to give everyone another minute to join because we actually have quite a lot of participants today signed up. So please bear with us for another 1 or 2 minutes. And then we're going to jump straight into the webinar that we have today with the Green Youth Network prepared for you. Okay, I think we can start the webinar. I'm just going to go into presenter mode. I think this should be visible to everyone. Perfect, cool. Thank you very much. Welcome to today's webinar, which is hosted by Circular South Africa in partnership with the Green Youth Network, and we're going to reflect on the Green Youth Network's Indaba. My name is Katerina. I'm the project lead on Circular South Africa, but today I also have Krista with me online, Mark and Marie. So we're quite an engaged team, and we're very excited to actually welcome and host you today. And we are also excited that the Green Youth Network has actually joined our steering committee. And today I also have Malibongwe and Lesejo on board with me, and also the pitch finalist of the Green Youth Network, Indaba. So what we're going to do is I'm going to talk about circular economy because that's the topic I'm excited about. But then you're actually getting to the much more exciting part, and that's the people that make the circular economy happen on the ground. So very, very excited to hear more about that. And then we are also going to share some more news about what the Green Youth Network is actually all about. And in the end, Mark is helping me to facilitate the Q&A session. So also please reserve your questions for the end, and we do hope that we have an engaging discussion. So why we actually chose the topic is that, as you may know, we have lots of young people in South Africa, also on the African continent. And we do need to rethink how we educate youth, but also how the youth is actually engaging in economies of tomorrow. And actually the circular economy shouldn't just be an economy of tomorrow, it should actually become present and be implemented right now as we speak. So just let's get started. I think the first thing is that we all know our current economic system isn't quite working. And I do think I also just want to say upfront that the circular economy isn't a renewed system where we're just going to grow exponentially economically. We can't do that from a materials perspective. So at some stage, our materials are going to be depleted in South Africa, but also globally. Just to allude a little bit of what's currently going on, or in which economic system we're currently in, is it's called the linear economy. We extract resources, we make products from them, and then usually after end of life of a product, we discard them, and then we call it waste. And in South African context, a lot of the waste is ending in landfills or is being dumped because communities are actually not serviced by the municipalities. So we are actually wasting a lot of resources. So waste as such is a human concept, and nature, if you look at how nature is recycling its nutrients, it doesn't really know waste as such. So some of the waste that you find on landfill sites is, for example, food, but it's also plastic, it's electronic waste, it's hazardous waste. So it's all types of waste that we are actually extracting out of the economy and not reusing. So we kind of we accepted waste and pollution, and basically as a consequence of our current modern society, but that's not how it's supposed to be. If we do look at a global scale, we have the so-called country overshot days or the global overshot days, where if you look at the globe here, you will see that, for example, Qatar has used up all of its dedicated resources per year by the 11th of February. That's pretty crazy if you think about it. Other countries like Ecuador or Indonesia are pretty good. They have used up their resources in November. But if you actually look at South Africa, we are somewhere in the middle of the year. And what we see year on year with the stats being published is that actually countries are using up their resources quicker than ever. So next year, it might not be the 20th of June, but it might be the 15th or the 10th of June, where South Africa has used up its resources. Just to reiterate the concept of circular economy. So circular economy isn't a new concept of or a sexier work for recycling or waste management. It's really about doing things quite differently from a linear economy, looking at a recycling economy, and then really trying to keep resources within our economy. So what is the circular economy? Well, classically, we have three principles. The one is designing out waste and pollution. The second one is keeping products and materials in use. And the third one is regenerate natural systems. And what we always say is also, it's not just about regenerating natural system, but also making sure that all members of our societies and communities are actually benefiting from a circular economy. So we usually expand the three principles into four principles. If we look at the linear system, this is the linear system I've showed you before. The diagram, it's basically, again, the extraction, the production of the products, the use, and then the end of use. If we then implement a circular economy type of approach within the use phase, you already want to make sure you reduce usage in general, but you're also reusing products. So you're really trying to tighten those loops within a circular economy. And refuse is also quite important. So it's really starting to think about how we can implement business models, but also product design differently than what we have previously done. If you then further extend the loop, we are actually also looking at repair, refurbishing, and remanufacturing products. So repairing a phone, for example, quite commonly done in South Africa. It's nothing new to the system. We just might not call it circular economy. The next step is then within a circular economy, and this is really important, what I really want you to take back from this webinar today is that repurposing and also recycling is really rather a solution that you want to do right at the end, right? You really do want to start with refuse, reduce, and reuse before you even think about recycling. So recycling is rather lower at the end of the circular economy hierarchy. And as well, if we think about extraction, we're thinking about circular mining, different types of design when you do manufacturing. It's really reducing by design from the get-go. So the designing process and how people design products is quite crucial in a circular economy. And this is not just on a product level. This is also on an urban city level, right? How you design a city and how people or residents move through the city so that we have urban spaces, that there are smart water solutions to a system so that there is enough water present there, but that we have enough green areas there for biodiversity, but also for communities. So what is missing from this image, and I was just already alluding to that in the three principles, is we obviously have energy, we have water, we have biodiversity, but the really big part is the social component and us, because we also need to change our thinking. And that is why also youth is really important in that matter. This is kind of the classical butterfly diagram, which a lot of people that have looked into circular economy is quite famous. On the right-hand side, you almost have like the technical nutrients, so your gold, your silver, all minerals almost. And then on the left-hand side, you have the biological nutrients, so your food, for example. And you really try to cascade that quite closely. So with food waste, you try to actually avoid having even food waste. You try to redistribute food or be smarter with your supply chains. And this is a diagram that I think, well, we're going to share the presentation later on because it's quite a lot of information on the diagram, but this is the extended version that's really going away from just looking at a biological and a technical focus to really including human as at the center, so that we have equitable and inclusive societies. Think about having co-working spaces where people can come together and actually share skill and teach each other about skills, but also maybe repair their broken textile goods and share, again, textiles with one another or food. Just because we always talk about circular economy and green economy almost interchangeably, and there are definitely overlaps between both of the systems. What is quite important to know is that within this diagram, I found that from the European Union actually is the circular economy focus here is very much just limited to waste management and resource efficiency. There is nothing about ecosystem resilience or human well-being, and we do question this quite strongly. So the green economy can almost be seen as an overarching topic, but the circular economy for me is more of how we can actually achieve a system that is more green and that is more equitable at the end of the day. So green economy, overarching idea, but again, we need to be really careful to just kind of paint our current linear economy with greening it and have then greenwashing in the system. We really need a systematic change. And importantly here is that the circular economy is how we are doing things through the 3 principles that I've just shared. If you look further at the circular economy, and those are actually the 10 R's that you've just already seen in that diagram with the loops, is really starting at refusing and redesigning, so rethinking an entire system before you even start thinking about recycling or recovery of waste through incineration to generate energy, for example. So the order of priority is quite clear. So you would always want to start with refuse, reduce, redesign, and then you go to reduce and repair and so forth. There are a few business models, and I'm not going in depth about this because the webinar is not about just circularity and explaining circularity. It is looking at circular supply chains, so looking at how we can actually create supply chains that are featured by renewable energy, but then also thinking about once the solar panel is done and we need to take care of it, what is happening to that solar panel? Product as a service. Here you can think a little bit about a Spotify subscription. So instead of you owning a fridge, you're actually just renting the fridge. That means also that the manufacturer has an interest to design the product as durable as possible because they don't want to spend money on maintaining it constantly for you, right? So that's the type of thinking that's behind that. Product life extension is very much obviously looking at how can we extend the life of a product. The Fairphone is quite a nice example. So they have designed a phone which is actually built by using materials that come from conflict-free supply chains, but also you can upgrade the phone because it's modular built, so you can actually prolong the life cycle of the phone. Sharing platforms, also quite useful. Imagine we have hospitals that have assets standing around quite a lot. You can actually share those assets with, for example, other hospitals. And then obviously resource recovery is quite important at the end of life. If you can't really do all the other business models or the R's, then you do want to recover the resources at the end of life. So you do want to do some type of recycling. But again, the better you design the product at the beginning of the life cycle, the easier it is to recover the resources later on. So I've already spoken around renewable energy is quite a nice example for circular supplies. We can also think about biodegradable sources, but again, we always need to take the local context into account. Just because we now have plastics that are biodegradable doesn't mean they're better for the local context, because you also need to have waste management infrastructures in place for that. So sometimes it becomes very confusing for a consumer to actually understand what is the best option to use. And there we need to really do a lot of advocacy and awareness raising with industry, but also the public sector. Product as a service, I've already said, it's almost like you're leasing an asset, and it can go beyond the fridge, the washing machine, a mobile phone, even headphones, bicycles, cars. Sharing platforms, quite common in South Africa, are Uber or Airbnb. And obviously they also have their faults. They're not fault-free. With Airbnb, for example, we see a massive problem around certain cities where people start to let out their flats around Airbnb. meaning that other people don't actually have the living space. So with all of those innovations, we really need to make sure that we also see the critical side of them. Product life extensions. I think John Deere is quite renowned, especially in the agricultural sector, to really prolong the lifespan here of the goods that they are actually producing out there. And we can also think about electronic or expensive agriculture machinery to be shared through a sharing platform. So you can combine those business models quite nicely with one another. Resource recovery. This is a South African case study or example. It's called Rewoven, and they have diverted quite a lot of textiles actually from landfills in Cape Town, trying to really make use of textiles as such. And textile is rather difficult to actually recycle depending on how the material is, what the material is composed of. So again, design from the beginning of the life stage becomes important, but also solutions at the end of life stage. So circular economy in South Africa, what is this looking like at the moment? So globally, we see around that the globe is 7.2% circular in 2023. And this is actually pretty bad because we decreased our circularity throughout the last few years. Even though we become more resource efficient, we also seem to extract more resources, which is unfortunately increasing the decrease in circularity. South Africa itself is around about 6% circular. So again, massive opportunities. This is a bit of a complicated Sankey diagram that was drawn up by the University of Cape Town. And we really see that we extract a lot in our economy, and that a lot of is actually either disappearing in emissions or is also exported. Is rather little recycling or cycling at the end, and a lot is happening around certain materials that also the informal sector is collecting, so packaging, for example, but also around organic nutrients. So basically, there is 94% of opportunities in our system to become more circular. So why do we want to become more circular or go towards circularity? It's being globally competitive. The European Union has quite a bit of an influence in how South Africa is trading with different countries, and they are starting to change their policies. So we do need to really think around how to design the system. Improving food security, I think that's a major topic in South Africa still. We also obviously need to figure out how we become energy independent. Eskom is doing now a better job than ever to actually avoid load shedding, but we're still generating our energy from coal. Water is the next, or actually already the key critical resource where we're constantly hitting water shedding. So water management is becoming incredibly important. And I do think that the fair and equitable job part needs to become really crucial to the circular economy discourse in South Africa. We also obviously do want to increase profits for companies that are transitioning towards circularity or already are in the circular economy space. Improving living conditions and health conditions, and obviously also protecting and conserving the really astonishing environment that we have in South Africa. We're quite blessed with our biodiversity in South Africa. So that is, again, something we need to take care of. I'm going to wrap up now with my last slide. So the main findings here are actually from the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. They have conducted a few research on the different key sectors in South Africa. And the main findings are just summarized is that we are extracting a lot, but we're very export orientated. So we don't beneficiate our resources well within our country, meaning we're also actually destabilizing or actually decreasing the value of the manufacturing sector. As I said, we're still very much dominated by fossil fuels, and we're also importing quite a bit of oil. We don't actually use a lot of the extraction or the materials in building up our infrastructure, which we really require as a country, also for trading, if you just think about our port system or networks. Then we do have quite high pockets of circularity, but as I said, it comes a lot from the informal sector and also from the more, well, the agricultural sector. But again, there are quite a bit of concerns of monocultures and actually decreasing biodiversity in the system. So I think with that, I can leave it, and we can definitely have more discussion later on around circularity. But I do think that the important part is really how do we make circularity or green economy happen in the system. And with that, I'm going to give over to my colleague to give an introduction of the Green Youth Network, and then to also present the final pitches from the Indaba, actually. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, colleagues. Excited. I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes, thank you so much.
Cool. So my name is Malibong Indaba. I am the stakeholder relation manager at the Green Youth Network. So firstly, just to tell you a brief background, you can go on the next slide, a brief background on the Green Youth Indaba, how it was founded. So it was founded in 2014 by a gentleman called Sanele Zulu. Sanele is from a small township called Unongoma. Nongoma, people will know Nongoma. It's a very small township that sometimes there's not much innovation or much of the things that you can do. So he came to TUT as a young boy from Unongoma, trying to find education. And then I think that is when it all started. It started as Green Mondays. So they did something that they called Green Mondays. So the idea with the Green Mondays was to wear green, but also to teach young people how they can keep the campus clean. So that's how it started. It started as just one person saying, this is what the initiative that I want to do. I want to do Green Mondays on the campus, make sure that we clean our campus. And then they realized the impact that they were doing. At that time, the gentleman was still involved in something that we call the Youth Parliament. He was a chairperson of the green economy portfolio. And then that's where they were mandated to say, you guys need to come up with something that will create young people to understand what is the green economy out there. So as you know, Green Youth Network was then formed. The idea behind it on Green Youth Network, it was to gather all the young people that are in the green economy, put them together in one room and see what ideas and innovation that they could have. But more than anything, it was just a network of young people that were in the green economy. Just to specify, this movement started as waste pickers. We did waste pickers around South Africa, where we had a campaign that we're doing with waste pickers, trying to teach them and train them. But we saw that there was more hunger from young people to see what is it that you can do. You can go on the next slide. So Green Youth Network has already touched over, I will say it's already touched a lot of young people out there. But our main focus, we have four things that we believe in. We believe in promoting green innovations. We believe in fostering entrepreneurship. We believe in facilitating skills development and then enabling finances. Sometimes it becomes a challenge for young people to access these finances. But if you promote the green innovation, we promote green innovation by creating something that we call the Green Innovators Roadshow. So the Green Innovators Roadshow then are the ones that seek to find these innovators all over South Africa. So that's the mandate that we have, to say, what are the innovations that are out there? What are the things that our young people are doing? Remember, young people's mindsets are out of this world. So that's why we really believe in innovation. And then we realize that some of these young people, they do have innovations, but the entrepreneurship level is not at the standard. So we then created also a workshop in our Green Innovators Roadshow, where we teach them about how to start a business, how to do business model canvas, how to turn your idea into and monetize on your idea. But also that goes with skills development. So what we then do, we then realize that in order for us to capacitate these businesses, in order for us to assist these businesses so that these businesses can strive and go forward, we needed to give them tangible skills, things that they can go and actually implement in their businesses and make sure that it's something that they could do. Then, as you know, with the finances is some of the things that are really a challenge. But through our conference, through our networks, through our programs, we try and see how we can facilitate a conversation between stakeholders that we have and these young people that are out there. You can go on the next slide, please. So, colleagues, as I'm saying, so some of our initiative, if I may speak over them, it's youth advocacy, and lobbying young people to come and speak about this green economy. So our biggest vision is one day to go to an event where we speak our mind as young people and say this thing will affect us in years to come. Why don't the policies that were made in Paris be implemented? So that's what we believe in. We believe in being the voice of the young people and literally taking young people to the next level. We believe, as I said, in entrepreneurship and innovation. Innovation is one of the things that is in our backbone as young people, and we really want to then strive and make sure that we assist them. Skills development is one of the critical things, I think, in South Africa that we need. So these are the initiatives that we have. And through this initiative, we have, as I said, something that is called Green Innovators Roadshow, where we teach these young people and we gather these young people within 2 days. And that's where we think we find and fine tune and make sure that these young people are well equipped. Next slide, please. So then we go to the one I think we all hear about, the annual Green Youth Indaba. So the annual Green Youth Indaba was then founded later on by Usanele to say, now, these young people, there's a network of these young people across South Africa. There's more of them that are coming. Lesego is going to introduce some of them later on. There's these young people. So how can we then create these young people so that we create a platform where these young people can literally interact with policymakers, interact with funders, and also interact with people that are decision makers. And that's how the Green Youth Indaba was founded. Green Youth Indaba last year this year was doing the 9th annual Green Youth Indaba. So it's been in existence for the past since I think the first one was in 2014. So during COVID, nothing happened. So next year it's going to be our 10th annual. So the Green Youth Indaba seeks to gather young people in one room, give them opportunity, link them up with the opportunities through our stakeholders, through the decision makers, through the policy makers that are out there. And that's what the Green Youth Indaba does. Then the community outreach, what we've realized at the Green Youth Indaba is that it's not enough just to be a conference. It's not enough just to be a network of young people. Then we decided to create a long week event that we call the Green Youth Indaba Week, where we did an outreach on the Monday. So the Monday when we did the outreach, the idea of the outreach, if I may put it that way, was to go out at the Dakota beach, make sure that we leave the beach in Dakota clean. So we got stakeholders involved, we've got other people involved. So that's what the community outreach is all about. The second day of the Green Youth Indaba, we had something that we call the Green Youth Career Expo. And the Green Youth Career Expo, the idea behind the Green Youth Career Expo was to expose young people at the young age about the green economy and what opportunities it possesses. Then the same day, we had something that we call the Wastepreneur Masterclass. We realized that there are wastepreneurs that are out there, but they are not capacitated enough. So that's when we came up with the Wastepreneur Masterclass. Then we can go on the next slide. I think that's where the next slide is. It's going to start and explain more things about what we do at the Green Youth Indaba, the main event. So we empower entrepreneurs, we cultivate skills, we believe in really making sure that the young people live there not only motivated, but also equipped. Because what we've realized in our own journeys is that being motivated is not enough, but having those skills of taking that motivation to the next level, that's what is needed. So we connect them with investors. You will hear stories from the top 5. They will share of how the investors just supported them and the connection that we created. Then we lead conversations, and I think this is something that the conference is all about creating conversation. And if I may say, creating sometimes banning conversation that cannot be led by young people only, but needs people in the stakeholders that we have in the departments that we work with. So we actually showcase the innovation also, but also we do, as I said, community engagement. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, our Green Youth Indaba this year, we had a topic called nurturing entrepreneurship, cultivating skills, attracting global green economy investors for job creation. And I think that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to say, here are the young people of South Africa, here are the innovations. All these investors from the outside, they could come and invest. This was our 9th annual Green Youth Indaba. We had it at the Durban Exhibition Center. Exciting times. Young people were there. We were even amazed of the reception that we got in Durban. When we opened our doors, the young people were already by the gate. So that's the excitement that the Green Youth Indaba brought. You can go to the next slide, please. Some of the key activities that happen, and I think I'm gonna just mention a few, and then I'm gonna cut it short. Some of the key highlights that were there. You know, it was such an exciting to see us being welcomed by one of the members of the eThekwini municipality. He is the chairperson there at the eThekwini municipality in one of the portfolios. And you know, when he shared and he said, it's so sad that as the city, they are not aware of what the young people are doing in the green economy, and they want to be involved more on what young people are doing in the green economy. So that's what the conversation was started. But we also had innovation and climate change experts. Dr. Mahue, it was there from the department in the Department of Science and Innovation. So those were the highlights that we had. And our keynote speaker from CCBSA was also another highlight that the young people were really talking about. But if you could go to the next slide, you'll realize that there were more activities that were done. And I think some of these activities, we spoke about sustainable waste solution, we spoke about water conservation, we spoke about empowering the tomorrow's workforce, which was the SITA conversation to say how they want to empower the workforce or the tomorrow workforce, but also what are sustainable policies for small businesses that they can do, they can utilize and use, and I think that's what we covered on the first day. So we can go to the next slide, please. I don't know if you can still hear me, but if you can go to the next slide. So the key highlights on the second day, and I think without taking the shine away from the winners of the Green Innovators Pitch competition, so there were still more topics. For me, what was interesting to see the topic on sustainable mobility and road safety combined together to say, how can this be something that is utilized? There was people that were talking about the journey to a greener future. How can this be a great journey? How can young people be part of this journey? Remember, these are the young people that are going to take this road and this train together and be able to go forward. So we needed to get them on board. You can go to the next slide, please. So some of the other key, as I say, not taking the shine away, the circle is going to go into details about this, but it was our Green Innovators Pitch competition. For the first time in the history of the Green Youth Indaba, we had those amounts given to young people to support young people's businesses. And if I was in a hall, I would say, let's give the round of applause to the sponsors and everyone that supported these young people's journeys of these businesses going to the next level. As you can see, their names are there, but Lesego is going to talk more in details about them. And then we can go to, I think it's going to be the last slide now. Oh, we also this year, sorry about that. We also introduced something that was brilliant and was new, something that we think if a lot of partners can get involved in, it will really create a greater South Africa. You know, we had something that we called the Young Researchers Pitch Competition. You know, the Young Researchers Pitch Competition where young researchers wrote papers and they submitted it to us, where we selected the papers and made sure that we got papers that could be implemented. Now, these young people, as you can see, the top three that were there, they are researchers in the space of the green economy. It was something that we thought as the Green Youth Network, it will be a great platform for these young people to actually learn how to use those papers and turn them into something that is tangible, which is something that is still in a journey that we are still going on at the moment. And I will literally ask Lesego just to touch a bit about this when he is introducing the winners. We can go to the next slide, please. So in conclusion, I think the Green Youth Network or the Green Youth Indaba seeks to do one thing, seeks to be the vehicle and the platform for young people to take them to the next generation, to take them to a better, greener future, to make sure that we travel together to a sustainable and a perfect, in a zero tolerance a society. We want to promote circular economy. We want to be the vehicle, making sure that we drive and we support these young people in their journey. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Malibongwe. I love your passion. That is amazing. That is so great. Lesego, I'm just going to hand over to you straight away, but I'm going to quickly share my slides so that I think we're going to see also all the pitch finalists, because I do think that is quite important before we start with the first finalist to actually present their solution. Lesego, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Katharina and Malibongwe. I'm not sure if I'm audible enough. Am I good? Awesome stuff. As Katharina has already said, my name is Lesego Mateme, and I'm from the Green Youth Network. I am the project's communications officer, and I will be speaking a bit more about the Green Innovators pitch. But as per my colleagues Malibongwe's request, I'll also be touching on the Young Researchers pitch, which saw its establishment this year, and it's quite an interesting addition, interesting and exciting addition to the work that the Green Network has been doing so far. So just a bit of a background on the Green Innovators pitch. The Green Innovators pitch is one of the key elements that brings a lot of young people to that. Since the Green Youth Indaba started in the Green Youth Indaba was born in not in 1994, in 2014. There's been Green Innovators pitches every single year. So this year we had the 9th installment, Green Innovators Pitch 9.0. So essentially the Green Innovators Pitch is a flagship competition which as Malibongwe has mentioned, of course, it invites, young people, 35 years of age is our cap, who are within, the green economy, who have SMMEs, who have innovations. We are looking at the invitation is extended to researchers as well. Just young people who are passionate about ensuring that they advance South Africa's green economy. And before the Green Innovators pitch happens, because the pitch actually happens at the first day of the Green Youth Indaba. Before that, there is a selection process, which is quite vigorous, right? So what happens is that the Green Youth Network releases an ad for the Green Innovators Pitch. We focus on key pillars every single year, depending on what is popular or what is topical in the, the green space. But what happens is that we release a call for young people to submit their innovations and businesses. And then after that, this is a nationwide call, right? And we open it up, and then whoever is interested sign up. Then internally, there is a team that looks at, basically vetting all of these submissions and ensuring that we get a top 50. So basically the criteria looks at how do they align with the scope of what the Green Youth Indaba does, or the Green Youth Network rather does. Do they align with the themes that of course of the Green Youth Indaba? But they also look at how how much thought and bankability, of course, how much thought was put into the innovation. Is it really bringing about like solid solutions towards some of the greatest plights we are facing as a world when it comes to climate change and things of that sort. So what happens is that after the top 50 selected, they are all invited to what we call a Green Innovators pre-pitch workshop. The process, or rather the main aim of this workshop is, again, as Malibongwe has mentioned, capacitate, because training and capacitation, information sharing, and sort of like giving young people who are active within the space a lot of capacitation and skills that they need to thrive is central to what the Green Youth Network does. So at the Green Innovators Pitch, we do two things. There is the business model canvas workshop, where young people who are in attendance, who've been shortlisted, furnished with information on how to craft business models. How do they ensure that, they move their businesses forward and they're able to upscale? Then there's also a session called the pitch canvas session, which is essentially, which is what makes the bulk of, the competition, because they will be taught how to pitch, how to articulate the ideas in a way that'll pull in not only community members and people to buy the products, but also funders, because as an innovator, as an entrepreneur, one of the key things that you're always running towards is funding for your ideas to upscale and all of that. So those are some of this is what happens at the pre-pitch workshop. It's quite beneficial, and I'm proud to say that most of the time, the people who get to attend this pre-pitch workshop do find a lot of value on it and take most of the things that they've gathered, the information that they've gathered from this workshops forward, and implement them in their businesses. So another thing that is central though to the Green Innovators pre-pitch workshop is that using the information that they have learned in terms of pitching and articulating their businesses, the top 50 will then be given an opportunity to all of them pitch towards a panel of judges who are active within the space, experts within the space. They'll have 5 minutes. It's very quick. You get the pitch workshop, and after that, you have 5 minutes there's a little break for you to prepare what you need to prepare. Then you have 5 minutes to pitch your idea to a panel of judges as well as your fellow colleagues. Then from that 50, the judges will deliberate, but then they'll also, of course, give constructive feedback on, their pitches, what they can tweak, what they liked, what they think they can do better next time. And after that, from that 50, only 5 will be selected to actually pitch on the actual day. And the 5 that are now on the screen are the ones that, managed to make it to the pre-pitch, to actually become, the Green Innovators Pitch 9.0 top 5. And the Green Youth Network is very, very, proud of them. And I'm quite excited to be, opening up the floor for them. And so basically, yes, on behalf of the Green Youth Network, it gives me the greatest honor to, introduce and basically give the floor to the Green Innovators Pitch top 5 for this year. In order of, I think the top 3, we have Unokupila Gumete, and she is from Field Tech Solutions. That's her business. In second place, the first runner-up, we have Sheldon Pandaram, and he is from Seed Time Agriculture and Harvesting. And then our second runner-up, who is in third place, we had Guiba Pasia from Glon's group. But also, we also had, as part of the top 5, we had Tembekile Shongwe, as well as Bonke Mbasha, who unfortunately will not be able to join us and share the invention today because of some difficulties that he's facing. But essentially, the top five, they worked hard for them to secure this position. This is why I am so, I guess the Green Youth Network is so proud of them. And also because we saw them from like the beginning, they saw the ad, they came to the workshop, they were engaging, they were asking questions. And then now they are, here on this platform, which I do believe that, as time goes on, it'll sort of like open up doors and channels for them, because as much as there are prizes that are associated that are only for the top five, or the top three rather, there is a lot of networking opportunities that are there at the Green Youth Indaba. And also one of the things that we pride ourselves in and we take seriously is ensuring that we're able to channel them towards where they are able to get further assistance, financial assistance, experiential assistance, or even mentorship opportunities. So the prizes this year, as Malibongo has mentioned, were quite grand. One of our key sponsors, contributed 275,000 rands across the top three towards infrastructure as well as equipment for their businesses, right? So the first prize was 150K, and the second prize was 75 thousand rands, of course, in equipment and infrastructure, and the third place got 50K in the same prize. But of course, the Green Youth Network also gave away 30K in cash prizes towards the top three to ensure that they're able to buy themselves something nice. I'm joking, but also sort of like deal with some of the costs that sometimes come unexpectedly while preparing to participate at a pitching competition of this nature. So I am quite excited to give them the platform. But before that, I'd like to quickly briefly speak on the Young Researchers Pitch, as Malibongwe has requested. So this was a new addition to the Green Youth Indaba's program, right? So what basically came about, or how this came about, was that we realized that, of course, we have SMMEs who have, of course, done their research and realized that, there's a gap here or there's a problem here, and then here's a solution that I can bring about. But then we thought we should also open up, the space, because the green economy is something that is quite technical, as a field that's quite technical. So we also wanted to include the academics as well. So we opened up again a call for abstracts for young people who are already, producing, knowledge, academic knowledge within the green, the green economy. We invited them to send through their abstracts to be considered, for the first annual Young Researchers Pitch. And then we did get, a bit of, responses and abstracts that were submitted. And again, similarly with the Green Innovators pre-pitch, we had a Young Researchers pre-pitch where, they were taught on, or basically their skills on things such as like academic writing were sharpened. And also, presentation skills, because as much as most of the time academics are good with, articulating their thoughts on paper, sometimes they do struggle when it comes to, verbal. So we made sure that we also capacitate them in that regard. And then outside of all of the people who fit the criteria and submitted to the call for abstracts, we also had like a top five that was invited to pitch at the Green Youth Indaba. And then from the top five, a top three was selected. And then, I think the names were shared by Malibong, where the first prize went to Mashudu Mamataba. The second prize went to Robin Lesh. Mashoud is from UNISA, and Robin Lesh is from the University of Western Cape. And the third prize went to Ayanda Shandu, who is from the University of KZN. Both of them were doing work that is quite impactful, or will basically once put into, like, once made practical, might shift the ways in which things are done within within South Africa, in terms of how we deal with waste, how we ensure that we use the biodiversity that you spoke about, Katharina, or how do we conserve it, but also how do we sort of like use it to our advantage as well. So that's the Young Researchers Pitch. We're quite excited to have the second installment next year, and we do hope that we're able to attract as many young people, because academic innovation in this space is quite necessary. So we hope that we're able to do it again next year. The Green Innovators Pitch is coming back again next year, of course, for its 10th installment. And we hope that anybody who may be interested within this platform will join us, because, you know, we are always interested in ensuring that we take you further. We help you get, you know, where you need to be, where you deserve to be as a key leader within the green economy. But I think I've exhausted my time. I'd like to give the floor to the researchers to share their, you know, the pitches that they've delivered at the Green Youth Indaba this year. And I think the first person who is going to kickstart our presentations will be Ms. Nokupila Kumete. And then after that, they will follow each other in the order that has been shared. Thank you so much, Katerina, and over to you, Nokupila. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Lesego.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, thank you so much, Lesego. I would like to also thank the opportunity and emphasize on not emphasize, but share my gratitude to Lesego on the point that he's mentioned about the pre-pitch workshop. They were really helpful in us sharpening our presentations. Thank you. Okay. So my name is Nokupila Gumede. I am the director of FieldTech. FieldTech is a company that provides services such as crop spraying and fertilizer application to crop farmers using drones. Currently our customers are mainly the crop farmers, mainly sugarcane farmers in Tongat and Stenga areas, and we also do offer the services to vegetable farmers and maize producers as well. So we do crop spraying, we apply herbicides and pesticides for farmers. We also do fertilizer spreading and farm mapping, all using drones. So the problems that we are solving is really the wastage of chemicals, because with our precision drone technology, the chemicals or the hazardous chemicals can only be applied to target areas. Therefore, farmers are not wasting chemicals, and the chemicals are not really running off to non-target areas where the environment and rivers and non-target animals can be destroyed. But also we help farmers increase their yields and therefore increasing profits. And also farmers save the cost of having to buy the expensive machineries such as broom sprayers and tractors. Also, we save water because the drones, for example, on an application for 1 hectare, if a farmer applies any sort of chemical, they will need 300 liters of water per hectare to apply any chemical. But with our drones, farmers can only use up to 30 liters of water per hectare on every application. So this agricultural drone technology is fairly new in South Africa, but there are a few of the established companies such as Pexis and DC Geomatics, which we do not take them as much as competition, but we do take them as our suppliers and partners, because their focus is more on selling the drones and accessories, while we buy the drones from them and offer the services to the farmers. So how we make money is that we charge 450 rands per hectare for the application of pesticides. We also charge 450 rands per hectare for fertilizer application, and then we charge 850 for mapping. We then charge also 550 as transport cost, 550 per kilometer. So what we have achieved so far is that we have this drone that we currently use to offer the services I've mentioned. This drone is a 30-liter capacity drone and 40 kgs for fertilizer application. So thank you so much to the Green Youth Network. We have used the 150 cash prize that we have won to purchase a trailer. This trailer helps us to mix chemicals in a safe manner, but also to easy refill on the drone, which allows us more operation time, and then we can, it gives us more operation time, meaning we can serve more clients in a day and increase our profits. On our team, we have myself as the CEO. I have an agricultural background. I have an honors degree in agriculture. We have Utabiso Sitole as our operations manager. He has a degree in supply chain management. And on the other side, we have Kanyanyawo, our marketing manager. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. I think then the next one up is Sheldon. Perfect. Thank you. You're in presentation mode.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sheldon Miles Bandaram. I'm from a company called Seed, Time and Harvest Agriculture. We placed second at the Green Youth Indaba this year in Durban, and it was such an amazing opportunity. I'm also quite grateful for the pitching workshop, which I haven't attended before, and it really assisted us in refining our presentation model, also for the type of things that really count in a pitch. So this is the agenda for today. Some of what we'll be looking at and I'll be explaining. So I'm a co-founder with my wife. She's also a business owner, mainly in the makeup space, but she has some history in farming, more practical. My history is civils and construction. I've been in civils since I was 18. In construction, I started when I was around 20, and I'm 35 this year. Well, I'm turning 35, I'm 34 now. I got a month to go. And I've been exposed to quite a lot in the business world. I've been involved in many projects, the COP17 as well. We presented there. And I'm also a recent graduate of the Joseph Business School. We graduated last year, and that's a little bit about my background. So what is Seed Time and Harvest? So Seed Time and Harvest, we provide fresh, organic, sustainable grown produce in South Africa. And one arm of our business is wholesaling, where we utilize current farmers on the ground, and we have our own farms that are growing for us, and we supply to local restaurants and supply chain. What the concept that we presented at the Green Youth Indaba is urban farming, which is a new arm of our business, which we started last year. And by the grace of God, we've had a lot of traction and groundwork, and it's still going strong. So our products are obviously organic fruits and vegetables, and we also have a line of food items that we're going to be piloting before the end of this year, specifically with Spa and Boxer. So urban farming and innovative farming technology. So this is an example of a vertical farm based in, I think this is in America. And with our farm specifically, there's a variation of 248 crops that you can grow. You can't grow everything because this type of farming doesn't use soil. It's water-based. And with the water, we have a solution that has nutrients in it, which the roots of the plant absorb. And the roots actually grow quite long, which gives it longer shelf life. And I promise you, our lettuce that we used to tasting versus urban grown lettuce is so different. You'll never go back to your store-bought lettuce again, which tastes like water. whereas something grown in an urban farm has a lot of flavor. And I'm hoping we'd be able to showcase that to you soon. We're also looking at aquaponics, which would be sometime next year, which is an expansion version of the current plant that we're going to be piloting in Durban. And that is a combination of hydroponics, which is horizontal farming, that you also utilize as fish farming. And it's a cycle. It's a reusable cycle, which is really interesting. What is urban farming? So urban farming, also known as urban agriculture, involves cultivating, processing, and distributing food in or around urban areas. So what does that mean? So you can utilize small spaces to grow a large number of crop. Specifically, one of the projects that we've been quite blessed with, that we're working on right now, is in Singapore. We were selected last year to represent South Africa together with the NYDA and the Singapore Business Chamber. And we were also able to find a local partner who has given us land on the island. And if you know Singapore, the land is quite scarce. So we're very grateful for that opportunity as well. And it looks as if our pilot in Durban and our pilot in Singapore are going to be in alignment more or less with the same month, and give or take 1 or 2 weeks with the harvest time, which is about 30 days. Urban farming also promotes local food production, and it reduces transportation costs, which means that whoever we are supplying, our urban farm is obviously situated close by, in close proximity. We employ modern farming techniques such as hydroponics and aquaponics. I just mentioned that. One of the benefits that's really our heart behind this, is creating jobs and educational opportunities, because urban farming isn't a new space. It's been around for quite some time. It's just that not a lot of people around the world have actually been tapping into it. So part of our vision is to promote this and to show others that it can be done. It's not a difficult thing to do. You don't need a high level education to do this. You just need some grit, and maybe 30 days, and you'll see your harvest. And it's not rocket science. It's quite exciting to grow your own food, actually. This is a portion of our target market. I couldn't fit everybody's logos onto this page, but this is just an example. And we have access to Spa, Boxer, Checkers, Food Lovers, like Tigrini, and some of the restaurants, and even the hotel groups that you see there. This is a picture of our delegation from Singapore. This is a day where we actually took off from the conferences, which was really busy, and we did some sightseeing. We also have support from the local embassy there. That's myself with the High Commissioner in Singapore, and they're assisting us with a lot of market access as well into Asia. I'm also a member of the South African BRICS Youth Association, which I would encourage any youth on this webinar to go and explore. They have many opportunities with different countries, and the innovation as well is quite amazing. Here we see some pictures from the Green Youth Indaba from this year with the other 4 contestants. So these are some of our partners as well, and so this is something I just put in yesterday. So our success thus far is built on strong and strategic partnerships with leading organizations and innovators in the industry. So obviously these alliances empower us to enhance our offerings, expand our market reach, drive, and our mutual growth. So this is our contact page. My cell number is here. I'm also on WhatsApp, our email address. We're also on Instagram and TikTok. Feel free to reach out if you're looking at partnering up or collaborating. Something that I found is collaboration is so important. You need community. We cannot do this by ourselves. And I'm looking forward to what comes off of this. Thank you, everyone, for the opportunity to present.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I think at the end, actually, when we send out an email to everyone, we can also share the contact details of all the pitch contestants, because I see quite a bit of interest in the chat as well. And then the floor is yours, Guiba.
Okay, greetings again to everyone. I am Guiba Pasuya. I am the director of clones. Can go to the next slide, please. again, please. Next slide. All right. Who is Glons, or what is Glons? Glons is a company that was established in 2010 to be a hazardous waste management company by recovering and collecting waste oil from industries and in workshops. We have been doing that through the process of the Environmental Management Waste Act of 2008. Clons is a 100% Black youth-owned company and a level 1 BEE company. Next slide, please. What we do at Clones, we collect used oil and recover all the contaminated fuel and store it in a workshop that we use for processing into fuel oil and back to base oil. So that is the whole value chain of the operations that we do. We also empower industries by supplying them with fuel oil, which they use as energy product for their operations. Next slide, please. Glon's oil is located in Mthatha. We are based in Mthatha. We are surrounded by many small towns around us where we do the recoveries and the collections of waste oil. And we also supply clients that are available in the area for their industries. We also supply them with the fuel oil that they use as an energy product. Next slide, please. What you see here is the companies that we currently supply with the fuel oil, and we also collect from them the waste oil. And there is a lot of other companies or industries that we collect waste oil from them, and even construction companies, logistic companies, manufacturing companies that we also collect from them the waste oil so that they cannot dispose it off in an illegal way or throw it into the environment or into the drains, which will affect the water system for the people to be able to have safe drinking water. Next slide, please. Next slide. With the operations that we are doing, it is very important to be compliant. Even for the youth that is interested in the circular economy, it is very important for them to consider that they have to be compliant for the industries that they will be operating in them, or for the circular economy that they will be operating in them. Maybe they will be collecting the bottles or the cardboard and paper. So to have a license for this industry is very important, which will also be able to manage your company when you are compliant in the licenses and permits. We are compliant with the South African Revenue Service, and we also have companies that have been able to give us permits and licenses for our operations, like the Recycling Oil Saves the Environment Foundation, the Department of Environmental Affairs, the Department of Energy and Resources. So those are also the departments that were vital in uplifting our operations and to be able to knock in every door and get assistance, and also have clientele and partners with other companies, because we have the licenses and permits to do the operations. Next slide, please.
Another slide.
Thank you. The vision for Clones and our mission activity is to collect used oil, but to also grow from recovering and collecting the used oil from illegal disposal into a processing industry, whereby we're going to process the waste oil into a product which will be the fuel product by processing it ourselves, and to be able to trade that product as an energy source. So delivering that service to our clients, which will be able to deliver the whole value chain of what they need by servicing the waste from them, and also giving them a product which they can use as a source of energy. And next slide, please. I'd like to thank the Green Youth Network for the opportunity that they have given us of going to the Green Youth Indaba and the workshop, to be able to equip ourselves with the knowledge that we got from the workshop. So we are able now to be more of green heroes, I would say. And I would like to invite everyone in being a green hero by joining our vision and actually making the environment much more cleaner and safer for living. Thank you very much for the opportunity to pitch.
Thank you so much. And then I think we have the last hero on the line, Tembeka. The floor is yours. I know we're starting to run out of time, but maybe if the audience can just stay on a few more minutes, that would be great, so that Tembeka can also actually present as the others can. Thank you.
Hi, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, it's just loading into presenter mode. I'll let you know in a second when it pops up. At the moment, it's black on our side, weirdly enough. Maybe you can exit again. Yeah, and reshare again. And then if you go into, yes, presenter mode. Okay, if this is happening, Christo, do you have the presentation on your side?
It's actually on the last slide. That's why it's black.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, let's try again.
Okay. We tested all those things before.
I know.
Always happens.
Now at the end. How are you seeing it now?
It's still in the PowerPoint format, but I think if you click on slideshow and then from beginning, let's see if this works. I think
you marked my presentation, so if you can maybe share it on his side.
Yeah, we can do that.
I have it open on my side.
Cool, Christo,
Yeah.
let's do that. That's perfect. Perfect, let's go.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. I'm Tembeka Shongwe, and I am the Managing Director of Dominion Solutions, which is an aquaculture, which is fish farming management company. And yeah, so our mission is to, next slide, sorry. Yeah, so basically Dominion Solutions, what we do is that we assist fish farmers to be able to implement sustainable practices across the entire supply chain. Next slide. So South Africa, aquaculture market is still a growing sector with significant potential. The market size is increasing steadily because it's driven by the increasing demand of sustainable seafood and supportive government policies that are also going to be in its favor. So despite its growth, though, many farms in South Africa, both marine and freshwater farms, face significant challenges such as poor sustainable management, lack of knowledge because it's a growing industry, and inadequate resources. As you can see in this table, South Africa is number 12 when it comes to Africa. And then with the rest of the world, we only contribute about 0.8% to the world aquaculture production. So obviously that's very small. And so Dominion Solutions was created in order to increase and for us to go up our rankings. Next slide. So as I mentioned before, a lot of the challenges that our South African fish farmers are facing is inefficiencies in management because of lack of knowledge, poor resource utilization, as well as they lack like modern technology and adequate resources. Aquaculture is also quite a high operational system. So there's high operational costs that are involved, such as the cost of feed, energy, and other inputs, which are impacting profitability. One of the biggest causes as well of lack of profitability is disease outbreaks in the system. So a lot of fish farmers aren't able to adequately manage their disease outbreaks. And yeah, so we created, next slide, please. AquaBrainNet. So AquaBrainNet is a precision aquaculture tool that utilizes artificial intelligence and machine learning with a holistic approach to enhance efficiency and profitability as well in the system. Next slide. So AquaBrainNet has 5 features. So we are able to, with the use of AI, are able to accurately measure the biomass in the fish. We're also able to detect diseases early and provide preventative strategies. We also source sustainable feed because the current feed ingredient that's being used is your pelagic fish, which is unsustainable. So we also source sustainable feed made from alternative ingredients such as seaweed and the black soldier fish fly. And then we also monitor feeding patterns as well in the fish so that our fish farmers are able to feed their fish at the optimum time. And then we also optimize feeding schedules. So we provide fish farmers with accurate feeding schedules of when to feed the fish in order for them to increase like the biomass of the fish. So next slide. So this is the demo that we already have. This is just screenshots of the different features that we have. Next slide. So yeah, so AquaBrainNet's holistic approach is one of the first in South Africa. The precision aquaculture market in this country is actually untapped, but internationally, these are all the competitors that we have. The difference between ours and them is that we have this holistic approach. So a lot of these competitors, they only focus on like one feature that I mentioned. So maybe one would do biomass measurements, one would do early detection of diseases, but none of them have actually been able to source sustainable feed for their clients. Next slide. So with regards to our customers, we're currently in talks with the DFFE in Cape Town to use AquaBrainNet in the fish farms in the Western Cape. We are also working closely with the Aquaculture Association to be able to tap into the private sector. And then we have also collaborated with Aquafeed, which is a feed company in South Africa that is utilizing black soldier fly in their formulations for feed. Next slide. So the revenue model that AquaBrainNet follows is a subscription model. So I was quite happy when Katerina mentioned subscription in circular economy because we are a subscription-based product. And then we also offer advertising space on our platform for aquaculture equipment companies. Next slide, please. So at the moment, we're actually testing out our product at the University of Stellenbosch on tilapia on the aquaponics system, funny enough, to be able to see how AquaBrainNet is going to function in a commercial setting. So we're currently in our pilot testing phase. We are not live yet, and we plan to be live only in September of 2025. Next slide. So I am in a team of 3. I'm the only female, which is amazing. And and I am a marine biologist from the University of Cape Town. I have a Master's of Applied Ocean Science, specializing in marine biology and aquaculture. And then the 2 gentlemen in the team, they are in the IT space, one specializing in artificial intelligence and machine learning, and the other gentleman, he is a software developer. Next slide, I think that's the end. So yeah, I just want to say thank you so much to the Green Youth Network. Even though I didn't win, I feel like it was a good space for us to be able to pivot. We've thought of different ways in which we can improve our product, and without that feedback that we got at the Green Youth Network, I don't think we would be as far as pilot testing our product at the moment. So thank you to everyone, and yeah, nice to meet you all.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. I think the pitches were fantastic, and I'm sure it wasn't easy to actually select all the finalists as well by our collaborating partners. So we're very excited that you guys pitched today as well for a broader audience. We are definitely going to upload the video also to YouTube. And we are also obviously thinking about doing a summary to feature you guys a little bit more. We are a collaborating platform, so please stay connected with Circular South Africa. I think Mark can maybe share the links again in the chat. You can become a free member on our website. The website also has a knowledge hub included to it. We do have quite a lot of events going to be coming online the next few months as well on LinkedIn. So please just follow us on LinkedIn as well. And we are in discussions also with the Green Youth Network to see how we can expand that and how we can actually make this partnership sustainable so that we can actually have more youth voices online as well in the circular economy space. But I do think today it's really amazing to see you guys doing those amazing innovations, and also having those innovations coming from South Africa. I think that is fantastic. So well done. Thank you as well for the Green Youth Network. I know we are running out of time for the Q&A sessions. If you guys do have questions, please just put the questions into the email that we're going to send out to everyone after the webinar. And then we hope to stay connected to everyone of you guys. As I say, we do have the website, we have the WhatsApp channel, so there are plenty of opportunities to engage with us. And then we can see how we can take the collaboration forward so that we have more young voices actually featuring the innovative solutions that are putting forward the green and the circular economy. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a lovely afternoon.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.